And we're live. Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. Here, as always, I am your comedian slash meteorologist for the evening, Cloud Hudson, and I will be bringing you all of tonight's top weather stories. It is a little bit late, but I did want to make sure we got a broadcast in tonight because there is a huge winter storm coming. And I want to dive into that. Huge winter storm coming for much of the Ohio River Valley, Central, East Coast, Midwest, Central Appalachians, mostly Missouri through West Virginia, the I-70 corridor. So let's go ahead and jump into headlines. I do have a Aurora cam down here in the corner that is in this is Tassilak Heliport in Greenland. It's got a consistently decent view of Aurora, but we are going to look at some video of Aurora from Iceland in addition to this one from Greenland. Let's start there. Beautiful aurora lit up the sky. Saturday, it's already Sunday, but Saturday night we got these beautiful, beautiful green aurora above Iceland, recorded from there. Let's see how long this video lasts. You can almost see it rippling in there. You can see the ripple right there. You can see it moving. Yeah, see the wave propagate through it. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I want to see that in its real life so bad. I really want to see the aurora someday. God. Can you imagine how magical that must feel? Guess I gotta go live in Iceland or something. Incredible, incredible footage. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. One headline that keeps coming up that I want to dispel is this chemical fog thing. People are saying it's a bioweapon or some like that there's chemicals in it. I find it very funny that every time there's a conspiracy theory about weather, it basically boils down to what scientists have been trying to tell people is happening for years, only delivered in the format of the government is doing this to you. So this, which is a narrative that props up the government as more powerful and efficient than it actually is. This particular theory says that there's like particles and viruses and harmful chemicals that will cause respiratory irritation in this fog. The funny part is that's what pollution is. That's what airborne illnesses are. And I would venture to guess that many people believing in this FogVid24 do not believe in COVID-19. They are only believing in the FogVid. I would also guess that these folks don't really care about airborne pollution that much. They've just thought about chemtrails. The real chemtrails are the trails of chemicals coming out of massive factories and our overly industrialized society. Sulfur smells, that's definitely, that's almost certainly industrial pollution just getting trapped in the layer of fog. I don't, and it's cold and flu season. This is, again, people just being alarmed by cold and flu season and not realizing that wearing a mask, if you don't want fog vid, wear a mask outside in the fog. Crazy. But somehow wearing a mask keeps your aura down or something. I don't believe that. I believe in auras, and I don't think that wearing a mask gives you a unhealthy aura. Just don't. Here's the winter weather current alerts. You can see the large swath of the country that this affects. This is affecting everywhere from Montana to North Carolina to New York, Pennsylvania. I mean, just this whole swath. Heavy snow and significant ice are possible along all of I-70. There's going to be severe storms dangling down on the bottom part in Louisiana and Mississippi and Arkansas. We're looking at, even decent ice chances into some of very far northern Tennessee and North Carolina. The Southern Appalachians getting roped into all this. This is going to be terrible for like all of Kentucky, all of West Virginia, most of regular Virginia. If Kentuckians lose power, it's going to get cold enough to where you may need warming centers, even if you have a home. People who are traveling are being advised to finish up their traveling already today. Don't even travel Sunday because it's starting now. The polar vortex will trigger temperatures 10 to 25 degrees below average. That's single digits, negative numbers. The teens for places like Atlanta. This is going to be terrible. This is probably going to be a big, big weather-related survival crisis for many people, and I just hope that everybody hears about it in time. Bridgewater Canal bursts for the first time in 50 years due to severe rain. That is Manchester. So that would be in England. Homes in Manchester, Stockport, Wigan, and Bolton were evacuated due to widespread flooding. So this canal has ruptured. We had apparently some really big rains in England that caused that. Snow and ice storm coming. This is an analysis by a West Virginia meteorologist of what's going to happen. Basically, where's that good? He had a good graphic. It's going to be snow, ice, then heavy snow. So, yeah, here. Snow, sleet, freezing rain, wintry mix, then heavy snow. So we're going to get a snow layer, then an icy crap layer, and then another snow layer. That's going to make things, that's absolutely going to tear shit up. This is going to be bad. And I personally think this is going to be worse for Western North Carolina than they're talking about, because it's going to be so bad in other places. They're focusing on that, but it's probably going to be really bad here too. Let's go ahead and look at our atmosphere. So we see it sweeping in here, getting set up. We've already got freezing rain mesoscale discussion over here in Kansas. Let's take a look at that. Light freezing rain to intensify later this evening. Small hail may occur and persist this evening over south central Kansas, north of the warm front over northern Oklahoma. moderate to heavy bursts of freezing rain may occur. Doesn't have a accretion amount predicted, but with this intensity of reflectivity and it being the quality of freezing rain, that is probably going to be pretty significant. We are most likely going to see more mesoscale discussions for freezing rain issued soon. Yeah, you see, those look like cold clouds. Remember how yesterday we were talking about how the patterns of clouds can look cold? Those just look cold. And you see these clouds forming right along the stationary front there. Stationary front is when there's cold and warm air masses moving like next to each other, so they basically don't go anywhere. The whole line doesn't move very fast. There's air moving on either side of the line, two air masses, and that can form some clouds along it. See the rotation sweeping back there. Let's look at, we've also already got lake effect snow in effect in the Northeast. Let's see, winter weather. Oof, yeah, that's all freezing rain, and that is looking nasty. Pretty heavy reflectivity for freezing rain too. Doesn't usually get that. It's bad. Looks nasty. And that is what's coming for all of this area, and it's going to keep moving along that stationary front, just moving horizontally. Let's look at satellite. So our lower level water vapor is feeding in from the south, from Texas, meeting up with all that cold air here. So getting fed in from Texas and spinning around in this big cold blob here. And this is almost, I'm not going to say cold air damming. That's not what's happening. Looks like the shape of the Nordic countries right there. Yeah, you see it spitting up even there, and upper level. Looking very nasty indeed. That's a healthy supply of moisture. You can see at the upper levels that this is connecting to the Pacific Northwest feed as well. So really not a good situation. Lots of expansion, some divergence aloft, strong negative tilt to this trough. So God, good luck. Let's go ahead and look at pivotal weather too. So forecasts. Here we go. So this is when we see blizzard warning coming onto the scene. Not just ice storm warning or winter storm warning, but blizzard warning. This is no longer a watch. So all of central Kansas and parts of northwestern Missouri right now, all of Missouri, all of Kansas are under some sort of warning or watch right now. All of Kentucky, all of West Virginia, all of Virginia, all of this is in the danger zone. This is no joke. This is a really significant storm that is just already bearing down its full weight. And it's going to be nasty. It's going to be a gross slice of warm, then cool, then warm, then cool. And the warm being like slightly not frozen already water, or super cold water, liquid water falling and freezing on contact with things that have been getting a deep bone chilling, soaking cold over the past few days. The cold is set in, and that means that the surfaces of like the earth and trees and structures are going to be cold enough for freezing rain to accrete onto. And water is heavy, y'all. If you add an inch of freezing rain, that's an inch of ice coating the entire surface area of any object out there getting ice on it. That's a whole lot of weight. And that is going to cause downed power lines for sure. Possibly many fallen trees, roads impassable because of all the falling tree damage. It's just going to be a really nasty situation. So please be very careful out there. In the next 72 hours, this is where we're expecting the most precipitation. So the border between Indiana and Kentucky is where the highest precipitation totals are focused. But really, all of these areas are going to get precipitation. The whole place. It's nothing's sacred, nothing's protected here. Just all throughout the Southeast. It's going to be bad. I don't know what else to tell you. We're also looking at some nasty, severe weather conditions as we get further south than the freezing. What's freezing? If it's not a winter storm, it's going to be a storm in the winter, basically. Let's go now to the Schumann resonances. And we've quieted down just a bit, but mode 3 is still standing out with really starkly getting some really strong transmissions at 20 hertz, and just above mode 4, we're looking at 28 hertz standing out. I also see a big streak here at 12, 11 hertz. There's also been a little blip right here, way up, close to like 38 hertz. Let's look at the sun. We're in an S1 minor solar radiation storm. So, what does that mean? Let's look at our protons. Oh my God, look at that. We are actually in storm territory now. So both the 10 mega electron volt and 50 mega electron volt have reached their storm thresholds. I think the 100 mega electron volt barely peaked over its storm threshold as well. So we are in a radiation storm right now. It's tapering off, but that is significant. Let's look at, looks like we got another X-class flare today. Wow. Okay, so last night we broadcasted around here, and overnight there was yet again another X-class flare. This time from region, again, 3947. I told you that is not an alpha region. That is got to have classification of beta, gamma, delta. Yes, not just beta, gamma, or beta, delta, but beta, gamma, delta. Its top 3 flare strengths have been three X-class flares in the past 3 days. So on the 4th, we did have an X 1.8, and we haven't really slowed down. We've got some decent M-class flares, the highest, most recent one being an M4. So January 4th, we had yet another X-class flare. That is in addition to the bits that were launched by previous X-class flares making their Earth arrival today. So that is pushing the solar wind. The X-ray flux is increased. The radiation flux is increased. Let's see what that looks like on the coronagraph. And there's these massive coronal holes here creating some really fast solar wind, pushing all that at us. This is headed, I mean, this is right at us. This is the sunspot region that is the culprit, and it is nowhere near done with its journey. Its journey has just begun on the Earth-facing disk of the sun. So that is headed straight for us. Not only are we looking at a winter storm, we're looking at a radiation geomagnetic storm combination. So this is what a moderate radiation storm would look like. Let's see what our imagery looks like right now. And you'll be able to see that snowy, staticky stuff. You saw one little blip. We talked about that yesterday. Here, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, there was a big flash. Starting to see a few more shooting particles. Increasing somewhat. Yeah, somewhat increasing proton radiation being shown up there. Auroral activity. Let's see. Our hemispheric power is down, though it was really strong last night and into today. We just barely came out of a disturbance storm time index in moderate storm region. Earlier today, we were a lot stronger storming, and had a decently fast solar wind earlier too. The KP index is finally down to like a -3 or a 3-. We had a KP5. We started off with a KP5 earlier in the day and tapered off. Kind of dipped and came back up and then dipped again. So we've got a really active sun. We're undergoing a proton storm, proton radiation storm. We are undergoing, let's look at the impact of, yeah, this is exactly the time when the Earth-facing coronal mass ejection that was launched right around New Year's is supposed to get here. It's happening right now. Actually happened a little bit earlier today. Wow. So as you see it make its way towards Earth, we didn't get a direct hit, but it was a decent hit. This is also modeling a different launch, probably one from 3947, going just ahead of the Earth, but it's still going to cause a little ripple effect in the Parker spiral that reaches Earth. Let's see our current planets. We have the moon at 23 degrees of Pisces, applying to a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces at 27 degrees. That is sextile to Uranus and Taurus at 23 degrees, giving Uranus and Taurus and Pisces are beautiful signs together, delusionally luxurious and comforting and abundant. And yeah, abundance and delusion is the key here, but that can be a very nice thing for a while. I like this Pisces stellium, even though it might make us feel our feelings and our trauma and our wounds and where we feel alone. And abandoned in the world might feel that extra strongly right now, but this is a time for deep healing and transformation. And if you can harness its connection to Uranus and finding out information that was previously unknown, then you'll be able to work this transit for the good, I think. Mars is still barely hanging on the first degree of Leo, still opposing Pluto in Aquarius. We've got the sun at 15 degrees of Capricorn. Mercury in Sagittarius is at 25 degrees, meaning that it's making a square to this Moon-Pluto conjunction. Not awesome day for the logistics of thinking about your emotions and delusions and picking apart your coping mechanisms or escapist tendencies or whatever's coming up for you with this Moon in Pisces placement. Since it is kind of a lot of energy to deal with right now, I'm going to go ahead and just play us out with the bell and circle back tomorrow night, because we've all got a lot of processing and dreaming to do. Can't see. Okay. I love you all very much. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you tomorrow night. Bye.